Welcome to another episode, another edition of the Best of Three podcast. One of those. I'm still Alvin. That's still Torrey. It's done. It is done. U.S. Open 2025 in the books. We got two champs: Aryna Sabalenka on the women's side, Carlos Alcaraz
Yep.
on the men's side.
Yep.
First and foremost, TH, how you doing?
Man, I'm good, man. I had a good Sunday service, had a full-length convention this weekend. I'm
Yeah.
feeling good about me and the good book and the man upstairs. Happy to come back to some tennis. And how about you, Alvin? How you doing tonight?
I'm doing really well. Enjoyed my weekend. Enjoyed the festivities kind of in flow. My good friends Matt and Lisa, shout out to Matt and Lisa, hosted a US Open party yesterday for the women's final, and they're both just got a new addition onto their house, and they christened it with this party. They're both huge Sabalenka fans.
So they were feeling good about themselves.
Exactly. You guys might remember Matt went to Charleston with me earlier in the year.
Right.
Lisa is a huge tennis fan. She was at the U.S. Open last week as well. So that was great. Very different vibe, right? It's you're at a party. I found myself sometimes feeling like a bit of a recluse because I'm watching the match and talking to people when I could. But that was fun. And then today was very different. I was at my house. The
Taking
kids,
it all in.
Taking it all in. Like the kids had play dates going on, so there were like 7 kids running around the house. But I was outside on the deck, enjoyed it with my buddy Andrew, and it was good. It was good. And he's a former college tennis player as well, so it was nice to just kind of talk through it as we were watching it. But that was fun. That was
good tennis, man. Both days. The last 4 days have been some phenomenal tennis. I mean, phenomenal. I mean, I can't stop short of calling it phenomenal. We were a stone's throw from having a few new champs on both. You know what I mean? And I was very happy to see the way it panned out. And all I gotta say is it keeps getting better. And let me just say this one thing: Amanda Anisimova is for real.
yeah.
She's here. She is kicking butt and taking names, and I can't wait to see what she does in the next calendar 12. You know what I mean? To really kind of put herself in that next echelon. Like, to her credit, she's not going to put any expectation on herself, which I think was great, but a phenomenal rebound from Wemby. And she's really put the tour on notice that, hey, don't forget about me. You know what I mean? I'm here. And Naomi Osaka, you can't forget about her. And Coco and Iga aren't going anywhere. So what I'm left with is that, and you can't say enough about Krejcikova. You can't say enough about Rebecca. You can't say enough, Taylor Townsend put her foot down in this tournament. There's so many new stories. I know you're a big storyline guy that are showing up.
My thing.
And I have to say, even though the men's side isn't as, it is a little more straightforward, it seems like the women's game has continued to evolve. A few new champs, and very dihedral opposite, but just as entertaining. I feel like Carlos and Jannik are taking tennis to a level we've never seen before.
Right,
and I just have to say that because we're watching perhaps the best of the best of all time. And that's hard to say in its current, but I feel very confident in saying that this is the best tennis I've ever seen.
So
on a point by point basis, as far as quality, shot for shot, and it's just, Alvin, it's truly another level. I mean, that's one of my favorite terms. We've been in our academy that years ago. This is next level 10.0.
So so we're going to start on the men's side. We're going to talk a little bit about that final and how we're feeling right now, maybe even macro, how we're feeling about where we are with men's tennis right now. And but first I'll give a little peek forward. So you and I were talking about, what are we going to do? How do we want to, continue to show up here in this space between now and the Australian Open, right? So obviously we do a lot of, in the last 100 days of summer, we've done a lot of Grand Slam and Masters 1000 level coverage, right? And we're talking about these matches and the evolution of the sport in real time from our perspective. And it's been so much fun. And we have some time between major events now, about 3-4 months. So in the next 10 weeks or so, 12 weeks on both men's and women's side, we're going to do a top 25 players of the last 25 years on both the women's side and the men's side. Yep. And I've started doing some preparation for that, and we'll do like 5 a week. So that's going to be something you guys should look forward to, and feel free to go along that journey with us. But when you start to talk about where we are in the men's game right now, when you take a step back and look at the numbers, as I've been looking at them a lot over the last few days, it is happening. It is happening in real time. And I've had the opportunity to talk to some people, some very educated tennis fans over the last few days who came out of the Roger, Rafa, Novak. Like, I feel like we all went through that whole 15-year run together. And we all come out of it.
Which was phenomenal, by the way.
It was phenomenal. But I think as it was happening, because we had never, in our generation, had never seen anything like that before, people took sides and got in camps and made you kind of actively cheer against the other in a certain way.
And didn't appreciate the gestalt of
until the end, only because it's been happening for so long. And I've heard Federer fans and Nadal fans all acquiesce and go, yeah, Novak's the GOAT. Like, you can't really argue with what he's done. And even now, what he's doing is another, a testament to his own greatness, like of being able to, there's those two, there's him. It's those two, gap, him, big gap, everyone else, right? And he's 38. Yeah. So, but right now we are, as tennis fans, we're going through this and appreciating, I think, what we're seeing in front of us. These two early, but these guys, if as long as they're healthy, we assume these guys are the sky is the limit with these two as far as like where they can land. I'm not just talking about like Grand Slam totals. We're talking about their rivalry in itself. And we've now gone back-to-back years where the two young men have split Grand Slams 2-2, 4-4 over the course of, 8 slams. And like you said, they've raised the level so much that if either one of them are slightly off, you get a match like today, you get a match like Wimbledon.
Thank you.
If they were more or less fairly
still not
similar.
Bad. Still
yeah,
not,
the second
clearly a 1 degree of separation of the difference, but yet that difference pisses the other one off enough to get the other one in for the next. And we are the benefactors of it, Alvin, as we're watching this unfold in this. It's like that.
It's like that. It
and
is like
then
that.
And then it keeps going, and then I'll see you one, and I'll raise you one next tournament. It's almost like I heard Alcaraz tell Jannik at the net, "I owed you for that one. You kicked my butt and win me. I owed you for that one."
And he did. He did.
And Sinner said, "Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, you got me. Yeah."
And just for that, I got you. Be ready.
That's the beauty of it, though, right? It seems like both of the players are in this place where they appreciate what they're doing so much that nothing else matters. The rankings don't matter, even though I love a good race for number one. We're on the march to Turin. The race is afoot, right? I love it. But the two of them, it's not the money. They've got plenty of money. The difference between winning and losing is not going to move the needle from that standpoint. The rankings, whatever. The points, whatever. They know that they are in this little bubble together, and all they can do is continue to push the other one to get better, continue to push the other one to bring true excellence every single time they line up on the other side of the net from each other. And that is where, we benefit, because Nadal and Federer, so different in game styles that if one of them was playing their game style well, usually Nadal, Roger was going to be in trouble, and there wasn't much change or, especially on various surfaces. But
I'll push back a bit, because
fair.
I saw Fed in 04, 05, 06. I was right there courtside for much of it. And he took off so far. Nadal wasn't even getting into the second week of many of the slams, especially the U.S. Open in those first 4 or 5 years. The year Sko got beat pretty bad by Roddick, the very next round, Roddick took out Nadal.
Young Nadal, yeah.
I think he may have gotten 2 more games. Sko got beat 0-2-2. I want to say. Nadal got beat 0-3-3.
Yeah.
So I say that to say he was still getting beat down by, and mind you, Andy Roddick is a phenomenal player, Grand Slam champ, but he was not even close to the rivalry years for 5 years. And a little older, we understand that and all that. But I say it to say, I felt like he caught Fed.
He did,
and found a way. So I pushed back on some of that. Nadal was favorite for sure the last 5 to 8 years, but the first 5 was all Fed. And I feel like that's where this rivalry was a bit different. Fed was the front runner that they were catching.
Right.
Nadal caught and then led, and Fed made it interesting to keep up.
In the end.
And then Novak, much to his credit, and I'll be the first to say I didn't give him enough credit early on, he seized upon the higher level that these two now reached and beat both of them. I can't say Fed in his prime because he didn't beat Fed in his prime, but he certainly beat Nadal in his prime and beat a Federer as he was aging and matched, if not surpassed the level and then some, and then beat all the also rans in between. What we have now,
fresh start.
We have 2 players in their prime.
Fresh start.
This is more Mac Borg. This is more Pete Andre. This is more, these two are just going tit for tat, Alvin, and neither of them is so much of a front runner or so much of a, hey, let me catch up. No, both of them are literally in uncharted territory going forward, but it's familiar territory for us tennis fans because we've seen this before.
Right.
Both of them are, in a sense, putting tennis on their back, saying, let's go to K2. We've already been Everest. Let's go to K2. Let's go to El Capitan. We haven't been there yet. Let's go over there this time.
Yeah,
and it's just really fun to watch.
It's crazy, and like even the when we have to pinch to zoom in here to find like the minutia of the rivalry, and someone has to start, right? Set the tone. Right. We go back a few years. Like this was way back in the day, 2022. When these two gentlemen met in the U.S. Open, right? Fantastic 5-set match. It is lore at this point, that match, and then Carlos goes on to win the Grand Slam or win the U.S. Open that year. But like, we got a taste of what could happen, and then Jannik got his camp together, and then the build, and then from 2024 on, it's been on. Like it has been on, more so winter fall of 2023.
Yeah.
But yeah, where Carlos didn't get much of a jump. He got a 2-slam jump, maybe, I think it was. Yeah. Picked up that US Open, picked up that Wimbledon, and then that was it. Like the game on. So, in this match today, like I mentioned earlier, it felt very similar to the Wimbledon match, except for like in that one player just wasn't there, like where they needed to be. 8.5 out of 10.
Sure.
And the other player was 9.5 out of 10, and that's maybe 9. Maybe I don't think Carlos played as well today as Jannik did at Wimbledon. Jannik played phenomenal at Wimbledon, and faster surface, it changes things a little bit. But I think Carlos played the same way today. He played better today than he did on Friday in the semifinal, but has played in a very similar style all tournament. He played within himself today.
Yeah,
like he served well, right? He played relatively smart, and he didn't.
Very smart.
He did not hit himself out of matches. He has found this new base level where he's efficient but entertaining. He knows that the razzle dazzle can come from the situations in which he needs to improvise, not the situations in which he needs to hit a stupid shot.
1,000% agree, but I'm going to offer a different take.
99.9% agree.
No. I agree on all parts. I'm just going to flip it upside down. Inception style. He didn't need to play 100% today. And he's found a new way to beat Jannik. He threw in off pace. He threw in the slice. He made Jannik create pace at times, which he's never done before. He sliced more, looped more, hit. Alvin, there were 2 or 3 times he played defensive shots against Jannik just to throw off the game, his racket speed and his position. Knowing that Jannik was going to counter, he didn't give him anything to counter with. We knew he was going to come to net. He played such a smart game style, number 1, against Jannik. Number 2, he didn't play a bad match all tournament
His worst match might have been against Novak. Like his,
right.
I mean, and also Novak takes that out of you. Like Novak might have forced that out of him a little bit as well. Let's
a little bit. I think it was a little bit of pride and a little bit of don't think we're gonna have that Australian situation again ever. Number 3, and this is probably most important. I want to be the number 1 player in the world, and I have to prove it against the current number 1 in the world, who's my buddy, friend, and current rival. But don't sleep. I will put my foot on your neck if I need to. And by the way, I wear a size 12. I mean, that's what it looked like today, Alvin. It looked like Carlos took a major lead, was pissed off from Wemby, and said, yeah, I got a little lucky in the French. I got my butt kicked in Wemby. Didn't like that at all. Let me show you with my performance all the last 2 weeks that I've been training for this.
Yep.
And ball's in your court. Touche. You know what I mean? Your turn. Because it really felt like he just took it up a notch. Wemby was, to me, a series of Jannik bottomed out against Dimitrov.
Yeah, that's true.
Bottomed out / Dimitrov played out of his mind and unfortunately couldn't finish the deal. But he played the worst. What was that? Round of 16, quarters, whatever it was.
I can't remember.
And then was on his way up. And then caught your boy Carlos playing on his way up. And I thought Carlos was on his way down. He played some of his best tennis. That Rublev match might have been his best match.
That might have been one of the best tennis exhibitions, short of I've seen in a while.
That was, and it's been too long since geometry, sine and cosine, I'm going to say, as far as the way the things are going opposite directions. That was what happened to me at Wimbledon. It wasn't so much that Carlos got beat down. It was that he wasn't playing his best, and that had already happened, and Jannik was on the way up. Today, I felt both of them played pretty well, but you could tell Carlos was just better today. And I tell you, it was very, very, very encouraging to watch. It was very encouraging to see Jannik take that second set. He wasn't going away, even though I don't think Carlos' level dropped per se. That early break that happened in the first didn't happen in the second, right? There was it was very fiercely contested. Mm-hmm. But I felt like Carlos was in control, and I felt like he was the kind of control of Wimbledon too, just didn't control it, right? It was on him to do it, and Yannick's always going to counter. I've used the term before. After counter-puncher, you get counter-punisher. And Jannik is the best counter-punisher the world has seen, and that's saying a lot after one Novak Djokovic who initiated the term. So my point is I felt he found a way to counter the counter-punisher is all I'm trying to say.
I want to go back to, on the counter-punisher point, I want to go back to the match against Novak versus Carlos in the semifinal. And I saw something in that match, and I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast, but whatever. I can say whatever I want here. Might say it twice. When they brought the angle down, you started to see what Novak was trying to do to Carlos. And it was the same thing that my eye caught that he was trying to do to Carlos in Australia, which was keep the ball low, make Carlos hit up. He can't dictate when he's having to hit up.
Correct.
Right? And so once Carlos kind of got a little
short in the court.
Hit it hard, flat through the middle, a little bit shorter. He can't really do anything with that ball, right? It's a tough ball to you have to kind of check it neutral, hit it up. If you hit it up too thin, now Novak is on. He's working from the inside of the court and he's pushing out the angles, right? Carlos kind of flubbed it in Australia along with some other things. The same thing happened. Novak tried to do it pretty early on Friday. And that's where that backhand slice came in so clutch. And when you started seeing him slice that ball, you could tell he's not taking the bait. Right. I'm going to slice that ball to the corner, cross court, right. And then I'm just going to wait for you to leave one middle, slide over a little bit, and now we start dancing with the forehand inside in, inside out, right? And you can do that all day long. And then force Novak to come up with something else, right? And I saw it again today, and one of the McEnroes was talking about, I don't love this strategy. And it's like, well, he's gone. If he doesn't hit it well, that's one thing. But if he hits that slice deep cross and continues to have Jannik hit backhands up, same pattern. Jannik was hitting Jannik started by the third set. He was running all the way around, both feet into the alley, trying to hit forehands and spraying wide.
Running out of camera angle. To be honest,
right? Yeah.
Several times you lost him if he was on that
that is again where very similar to how Naomi handled Coco. That's where your tactics and execution blend, and it was like I was like, oh man, this is fun. This is fun to watch. Like watching him adjust in real, quote unquote, real time over the course of 3, 6, 9 months.
Yep.
That was how he flubbed it in Australia in the last 2 days. He's shown I'm rounding out all of my corners.
It was both McEnroes that kind of mentioned it because he took that early stub of his toe in the second set. But you heard it right here. That was a bit of an anomaly. He kept doing the same exact thing. He kept slicing that ball, making Jannik create pace off the inside-out forehand. He continued to go bigger off the backhand, off of Yannick's bigger ball, so he became the counter punisher against Jannik.
And he had to.
And he had to. And first, let me say this. His backhand looked the best I've ever seen it today. Yeah, the best. We know he's got a big forehand. We know he's got a good return. Backhand's good. Don't get me wrong. Very good. Like, number one in the world good. Not best of all time good. I think Jannik, if anything, would have the 9.7 versus 9.2 over in the backhand. Agreed. His backhand out-hit Yannick's today. And I think it out-hit Novak's the other day as well. And so what I was very, very impressed to see was that he slowed it down to a manageable pace for him, knowing the other guy's not going to create.
Yeah.
I'm a pace creator. I'm not going to take the bait, to your point, and out-hit myself out of my coverage area. But I'm still going to hit it when I need to. And I'm going to hit my big forehand and my wide forehand. I'm not going to keep going line, risking all in, like a world championship poker. I am going to go hard wide. He did that quite a few times. And all of the net play that we've been seeing all the last 2 weeks really came to fore. His net play was phenomenal. He had some great touches. His passes were on point. He even forced Jannik to come to net several times. Yannick's not quite the volleyer yet. But again, this is still young in the rivalry, Alvin. And I have to say this. Carlos took it up a notch or two with this match today. And I was very, very impressed with what he did with the adjustments. And I'm very much looking forward to the next iteration come Turin, come next year, Australia, and so on and so on. It's the bad news, the only bad news. Everybody else ranked 3 and out might just want to book some tickets to watch and have their team, look at some things because they're putting on a show right now. They're putting on a show that if you're not careful, if you're not really staying abreast of what's happening, they're going into warp 3, warp 4, and everybody else is still stuck in warp 2. They're pulling some things you haven't seen before. And you really need to kind of start to understand tennis is changing before our very eyes. Counter-punishing is being countered. Aggressive baseline is no longer, you have to be an aggressive all quarter. The style has merged. It's no longer one style. It's all of them. Which one do I want to show you right now?
That's the beauty of what I think Carlos did today that you mentioned earlier was like, he's like, I'm not getting into these pinball rallies with you.
Right.
I'm not getting into this arcade tennis with you. I need to check down. I need to go high. I need to change the pace and then use his speed and world-class footwork to then start to manipulate off of that ball to just kind of throw a little bit of curveballs in there every once in a while. And that's the game within the game within the game.
It's all over again.
It's like I'm smiling for those of you who are listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or Amazon Music, whatever. I beg of you, go to YouTube and see the smile on my face right now. I am so happy right now. I'm happy for tennis. I'm happy for we've had this conversation lately in tennis around with, is it good for the game that these two are the only thing kind of holding up the men's side right now? Like, if we don't get this at the end of the tournament, we're kind of left like, which to an effect is it's true, right? There don't seem to be very many challenges along the way unless they become self-imposed, right?
Yep.
And that is in itself, that's unfortunate and it is right now. I'm sure things will, I'm not actually all that sure. I hope things change as we move forward in the next, 12, 18, 24 months. But is the payoff worth it? I can't say it's not. Like these matches have been.
When you say the payoff, who are we talking about?
The payoff being like we have to wait 2 weeks to get the good match, and then we get this match. Would you prefer some better semifinals, some quarterfinals that actually matter?
Alvin, I think the tennis has been great. I know what you're trying to say. I know.
I'm talking about the conversation at whole. I enjoy watching professional players practice. Like, don't get me wrong.
Man. You know what I mean? And I think that's where I'm going to make sure that we understand the context here. Alvin, I'm going to use a car analogy for lack of a better one. When I see one of my students has an RTR Mustang, right? It's one of the fastest production cars out. It's 900 horsepower Mustang. It's past the GTR. It's past the Roush, blah, 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 blah. You're now comparing, in a sense, an RTR Mustang or a Corvette ZR1, right, with some of the best supercars of all time. It's as if you're poo-pooing, not you, the tennis fan, is poo-pooing on a phenomenal car. Oh, but it's not the Ferrari, or the what's the crazy car that has,
like a Bugatti,
the Baron, right? The Bugatti. Yeah. Really? Are we getting that picky? You know what I mean? No. What it is, we're not. You don't get often the ability to even see one of those, and let alone can you even understand the context. And if you truly understand, I'm just going to say a ZR1 on the RTR at work, you understand how high a level of an automobile you're dealing with. So then to have an automobile that's a little bit faster, racing, it's another phenomenal automobile. You're like, whoa, dude, I thought that was fast. You never think that the ZR1 is slow.
Right,
you
fair.
Never think the RTR doesn't have enough horsepower.
Taylor Fritz is obviously the Corvette,
you know what I'm
in this instance.
So I'm saying, and again, and I'm not one to heap a lot of huge praise on Taylor, but Taylor is number 4 in the world now. The brother's bad.
Yeah,
I gotta give him his props. I just have to appreciate right now, those two are playing at such a level that it is beyond what the current level can handle right now. And they're darn good, as the other cars are fast. And I just want to make sure we don't make the fan mistake of relegating the rest to, how do I say the word, ignominy, to such a poor level.
Yeah, that's
appreciate the level that we're seeing. Novak is still every bit of 24 Grand Slams. He's just a few years past his prime, and he's been showing this for a while. And make no mistake, he is that phenomenal car that says, buddy, I'm an Aston Martin Vanquish. I thought I was pretty fast. These guys are just a little bit faster.
Right,
and
yeah.
That's what I'm getting at. And I just want to make sure we appreciate the excellence in its class, not necessarily to knock the other down, but to raise them all up at a level that we can all appreciate. Just appreciate the highest of the high level right now. Those two are able to push is putting us into the stratosphere. And make no mistake, it doesn't mean the other are worse.
It's an AP course with a lot of smart kids, and these two just happen to be busting the curve. Like it's fine.
And out of nowhere, asks the question of relativity.
Right. Like, yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Right. Right.
And
so like as we look at it, kind of taking stock. Gary Nathan wrote a book. And we're going to talk about this in another episode. I might have Pat come back around, and he's an author. He's read the book. We're going to talk about it. But a book has already been written about the beginning of this rivalry. Gary Nathan wrote a book, came out, I think, right before the U.S. Open, kind of chronicling everything up to, I think, through the end of last year between these two. So you ain't got these 3 chapters in it, but the idea that someone, a writer, a good writer, a respected writer, felt compelled to start documenting this in real time and publishing it in almost epochs, if you will. Like, we've got the first 3 years, boom, here it is, and then right after it releases, or as it's in production, you get 3 more They've played 3 Grand Slam finals in 100 days against each other.
That's a great stat.
That's dumb.
Yep.
What are we doing except for, we're blessed. We're blessed.
And that's the perspective.
We're at what, 6-4 right now in the total. We've split 4-4 of the last 8, right? That's awesome stuff. So now we come into
have they been in 7 of 8 finals? Is that my take?
One of them in 7 of 8, like or against each other.
One of them 7 of 8 for sure. I'm saying, have they been against each other in 6 of 8, or has it been 4 of 8?
No, not in the last 2 years. I think these were the first. These last 3 were the first times they've played each other in finals.
Right, 7 of 8 for each of.
So like last year, French Open, they played in the semifinals. Right. Carlos took that one.
Didn't play in the final, but they played each other throughout.
Not in the U.S. Open 2 years. Yeah, they've met a handful of times prior.
Right, just not
to this
not
year, but not in the finals.
I thought they had played 6 of 8 of the last 8, just not in the final. I thought they had matched up against each other for whatever reason up until I thought it was 6. I mean, maybe I'm wrong.
It wasn't Australia. I can go back quickly. Not the Australian Open last year. French Open last year, yes. Wimbledon, no. U.S., no. So it's been and then Australian, no. So it's been 4 of the 8. 4 of the 8 they've played each other.
And 3 of the 8 were finals.
And 3 of the 8 were finals.
Right,
yeah.
Right. Fair.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, we've split the final. We've split the Grand Slams. They're winning all of them apparently.
Yep.
And so I think Carlos has lifted his level a bit this year.
A lot.
He's cleaned up. That's 8 finals in a row. He's
due to Jannik.
Exactly. So as we look forward to next year, like I think now we've got a sprint. We got a 4-year sprint here, or we have a sprint of 4 slams with both of them equal footing. Assuming they both come in healthy, right? Where I know you know me. Let's get after it. We both know what's up.
Yeah.
And let's continue to push each other. So, I hate to look at this final by itself. I almost have to look at the last 3 of them together.
Right. Because they're almost all to be continued.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
French Open was,
Part
an
3.
odd treat. Right. Wimbledon was a little more what you'd expect. And then today was also just the opposite direction of what also kind of what you'd expect, but the other person won. So, we good.
Yeah.
We good.
100%. It's the if I can put it in film, it's the George Lucas. Star Wars was meant to be one movie 6 hours long. You know what I mean? That he ended up putting into several episodes. That's what we're watching. They're all to be continued. Meanwhile, you know what I mean, so to speak.
Right.
So
let's flip over because I think we're good there. Are you good there on the men's side?
Yeah, 100% good there.
I'm satiated. I feel good. On the women's side, Aryna Sabalenka came good. She came good. And I was watching the match. I'm in a room, mixed crowd, a lot of people, a lot of talking, a lot of socializing. But I'm watching the match and I'm like, this is just like a normal tennis match. Like it's a normal tennis match. Like
how do you mean?
In that, so before the match, I think I said it on this podcast. I think I said it to people that asked me or pressed me about who I thought was going to win. I was like, well, if they both play well, then I think Amanda will win. But if they don't, this is what you get. And there's not that much between them. Like, and you start to look at, okay, well, what actually happened? It's like, well, Amanda didn't serve that well, and her forehand kind of went off the rails. She sprayed enough. The numbers will early, right? And then at that point, like we're talking about a Grand Slam final here, which she's already been in that situation before. She got it back together.
And only got 12 games of it, I might add.
Right, but she got down 3-0, I think, in this one, in the first set, and then came back, evened it up. Okay, but then 6-3. Like there's a little bit of she never found her rhythm. Like her hands and her feet did not look like they wanted to play together in the first set. Like she was able to come up with winners on the backhand side, which she's going to be able to do that, when she's 70.
Right. Right.
But everything else just looked a little bit off, but you have to consider you're playing against one of the greats, the number one player in the world who showed up. And Amanda needed to serve. The thing that she could have controlled was serving better. She did not. She did not make enough first serves.
I agree.
And when we're starting from second serves, like that's not either woman. Either woman, like is going to go off on second serve returns. Aryna just got to look at more than Amanda did.
I would also say the 5-3 was a 5-2, 5-3 in the second to 5-6. I think we both understand that if that game had turned out differently, and the tiebreak had a little bit of a different start, that match could have gone 3. We could have saw more fireworks. Here's what I saw, Alvin, and maybe often this is a nice role reversal for us. You're usually macro and I'm micro, and now you're going micro.
A little micro.
The Amanda has just now played, in my opinion, a reasonable final. I call the Wimbledon just an aberration.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's
toss it out. Let's toss it out.
We just toss it out. It's an outlier. Yep. Emotionally, physically, all the above. She just didn't show up, period. We understand that. She said that. She said as much. This was her first, in my opinion, real final where she actually played. She did this against Naomi a little bit, but was lucky enough to get through.
She turned it around in the second set.
And was able to find her rhythm, and then obviously able to get to the third. And trust me, Naomi was not waiting around for her to find the rhythm. She was almost service pace. Here we go. I mean, and I like that, but something similar is happening. I think her camp's going to realize, okay, Amanda, you're healthy. You're doing great. This is a phenomenal year. 2 finals, you kidding me? In the same year, we were happy to get 7 matches without getting hurt. This is great. Now let's start working on you starting faster. This match to me was more about experience, more about starting out of the gate quickly and not necessarily stubbing your toe. And this match was about Aryna did a great job of not letting it go 3, which unfortunately Naomi let it go 3. This match to me was more about finals experience and being able to win all the ugly, quiet points. Because if you look at winners, Alvin, I'm pretty sure Amanda led in the winners category.
She did, yeah.
And you talk about the forehand off the rails. She had as many forehand winners late in the match as she had backhand winners. The forehand started getting bigger than the backhand. I will say bigger, as big as the backhand did middle to late of the second.
She also served a lot better middle, second. That's a big deal. She's starting from a better position to hit those forehands. But
she also hit the forehand bigger. And she was trusting the forehand line, not just cross, not sitting the backhand. She was going for it. And I think what I'm getting at, Alvin, is that all hats and congratulations and props are due to Aryna. I called Aryna before the match. You and I talked about it. She's just that experienced. And she's due. I said that before. She's due. She's been in 3 or 4 of these all year. She's due. She was not going to be denied. However, what I saw from Amanda is Aryna better keep training because Amanda is still figuring out what Amanda can do. This rivalry is starting to get very complex because she's as tall, maybe a tad taller, has a better backhand, slightly has almost as good of a serve, definitely as good of a return, right? Foot speed, we know Aryna's a little better of an athlete, but as far as firepower and ball striking, she might be the best ball striker on both tours as far as it's concerned, as far as average ball speed, and that counts for a lot. So what I think, once she gets 2 or 3 of these more under her belt, Alvin, this girl's gonna be tough to beat. And I'm worried about Iga, Coco, all the rest that are coming behind her because of JPEG, because she is a taller version, harder striking version than JPEG. She can hit the backhand bigger than Iga, and in a lot of ways she's kind of a Freehold, New Jersey, a revamp of Madison.
She's Madison. She's Madison without the variance.
Right.
Is what she is.
And coming into her own. And so I only say that to say, back to my point, we can't look at this through a microscope. The women's tour is phenomenal right now. And I got to say, Alvin, for all those years that Serena kept the tour on her back, I got to tell you, I am happy, man. I'm happy to see all the variety, the chances.
Fantastic.
You've got Grand Slam champs that exited early. You got Grand Slam champs that didn't play great. You got Grand Slam champs that showed up and played spoiler. We haven't even gone in depth yet about Emma Navarro, Coco Gauff, others that have yet to reach their potential. They're still coming. Peyton Stearns, Courtney Kessler. We got players that are coming that are just getting into the top 20, getting comfortable, and we got 20s to 10s that are now pushing the Grand Slam finals. That's what I'm seeing, and I got to tell you, Alvin, this is phenomenal for tennis.
So with these two, and I agree. Like I'm in love with just the depth. And I've said it before. Continue to preach it as long as it's true. The depth on the women's side right now is phenomenal. Like Aryna is the number one player in the world, right? And she just won this Grand Slam. But over the course of the last 2 years, she's 3-2 against Amanda, right? And this is Amanda coming back, right? So now we get to, again, like we talked about, getting through the rest of this year and coming into Australia. Right. Like Amanda's kind of like a diesel engine. Like, it just takes her a little bit of time to get warmed up and get rolling. We need her coming out like a snappy like inline six, right? Yeah, exactly. And I think her being able to
just keep going.
Her being able to start better is probably going to be the number one thing her camp works on in this offseason. I say offseason like they're done. There's no offseason. They got the Asian swing, but for all intents and purposes, it's like we gotta start better, which means we gotta get quicker. Like, that's gonna be she reminds me of like Maria Sharapova. Yep. Like, in that, like her. Once the feet get there, if she gets maniacal about becoming the best athlete she can be and the best mover she can be. Right, she's not gonna be Coco, but she can be the best mover. She can be the best mover Amanda could possibly be.
Right, the best version of Amanda ever possible. And yeah, I 100% agree with you. And what I also look forward to, Alvin, and to piggyback off that, is now the seeding and the surface start to take on your favorite storyline. Now, depending on 3, 4, or 5, who will you run into? Right. So now seeding becomes even more important, and who plays who early, who's peaking early, and so on. And as I said, when you have a tournament that had 12 former Grand Slam champs, some of them multiple Grand Slam champs in the same draw, several of which weren't even seeded, you got to appreciate the fact that that's depth right there. We're not just talking these are good, and we're not counting the number of finalists in the draw, right?
Yeah.
It was probably another 8 finalists, you know what I mean, in that same tournament. So I'm looking forward to it, Alvin. I think it's going to be a great situation. Amanda will only get better. We already know Aryna's good. We already know Iga's good. We already know, Coco's good. We already know JPEG's good. Now Amanda's elbowing her way into the top 5, so to speak, to say. And I hope you had room for me. I think I got a table at that seat right over there.
She's the 2025 version of, from a result standpoint, Jasmine Paolini. Let's go back-to-back Grand Slam finalists, right? Jasmine last year, back-to-back French Open Wimbledon finals. Amanda back-to-back Wimbledon and the U.S. Open here. So, and then let's keep in mind, like, she was able to maintain that throughout the course of the year. She wasn't Jasmine, that is, like, not top 4 material, but she's sitting somewhere at 8, I believe, in the world right now. So, like, it's just, we have so many women that can do it.
Yeah.
That can do it, which means, like, day 3 of a Grand Slam, it's on.
It's going to be rough.
It's on. Day one of a Masters 1000, it's all, or round 1, I should say. I don't know when the hell these things start anymore. They're pretty long. But
keep your head on the swivel.
Yeah, and so for all of you who have the ability to do so, get out and go to tournaments. Get out and see them. Like, it's, if you're not, if you're in the United States, I'm sure most of you here are Tennis Channel subscribers. Subscribe to Tennis Channel Plus, right? There's good tennis on. Like, this is obviously not the end. We've got some Masters 1000s left, and then year-end championships, and then you get a couple weeks off, and then we're right back down in Australia.
I want to say one thing.
Say something.
Any of the tour supervisors that might be on watching or just happen to type in a Google search, talk around the fan base, please do something to clean up the schedule to where we can see great tennis and put a higher price point or something to be able to have 25 to 28 phenomenal weeks of the year. Give these athletes some true off time. They're not going to take it unless you bake it into the schedule. And all this bonus pool crap, and you're saying, well, they don't have to play. Yeah, but you're dangling millions of dollars in the pool if they do play. So all you're going to end up doing is creating a bunch of Vondrousova and Sabalenka matches, which we all want to see, and quite frankly, the players want to play. But because these players are playing so much tennis, it's not able to happen. And now you're going to get these phantom matches that are really just going to be the luck of the draw. You're still going to have a player hurt here and there. That's going to happen. But when you play 35 to 40 weeks a year, Alvin, maybe even 42 or 45, that's too many matches to play week in, week out. And if you're going to do well, you're going to be playing all 6-7 matches, or 6 for, obviously, for 1,000s and 7 for slams. I say it to say, you've got to do something to protect this current level of tennis and keep the tennis pure and keep the matches so phenomenal. In the picture behind me right now, for those of you who are listening in may not be able to see it, but I've got a packed Arthur Ashe. You don't get packed Arthur Ashe for a bunch of pullouts and a bunch of names that were in the draw but then pulled out because they couldn't play. It used to be players never pulled out of the slams. Now they're pulling out because they have to for whatever reason, and on to the next one. I got to look at that if I'm a tour organizer and say, guys, we want to make this be exceptional every year, not just for the slams, for all of it, and we have to bake in some time. We know Davis Cup, what's the women's version?
Billie Jean King Cup.
Billie Jean King Cup now, right? Yep. I was going to say the old school Whitman Cup. It's Billie Jean. It's so much. Those are going to happen. Olympics is going to happen. All these is going to happen. Can you protect the integrity of the tour by having a few less events and having a little bit better schedule, where there's maybe even a mandatory, if you would, week off in between a couple of them to give these players the time and rest they need. And if they want to choose to go play a challenger or something else, well, that's on them. But you've baked that in. I just want to say that because I think we're at such a pivotal point that if we don't protect the schedule, you're running into, some of these other sports. Baseball's already seeing it. Basketball's already seeing it. Too many games, you start losing fans anyway. You know what I mean? And you hate for that to happen because not only are players hurt and dinged up half the time, the quality of the end result, the finals, the playoffs, aren't as strong.
You say that, and then I'm going to ask you, you want to shoot down to Delray on Friday for Davis Cup, USA versus Czechia? I'm just saying. I mean, you got Fritz and Tiafoe against Lehechka and Mensik. Oh, it's gonna be,
Lord, good match.
That's gonna be exactly. Here we go. Tennis doesn't sleep, right? I'm not even kidding. Like, we should go just for a day. Flight out in the morning. We can come back Saturday morning. I'm not even kidding.
I have to say what up to my nephew Justin, who lives in Delray. I'll call him. Let's see if we can't make it down there.
We'll just do a day trip. They got non-stops all day on Delta, like just every hour.
He lives right off Atlantic. I'll have to send him a quick shot, see if he's in town.
It's not a no.
It's not a no. And that's the problem.
Well, I mean, okay, let's look at it though. Like, so we say that's a problem, and I agree. Like, there should be, the players shouldn't feel like they have to be pushing it 40 weeks a year. But as a tennis player, like, Taylor lost in the quarters. That was on, like,
Tuesday.
Whatever. Yeah. Okay. He's not going to play another match that counts till next Friday. Okay, that's probably fine. Take a couple days off, come back, hit the balls, play. I know it's a stretch. But Mensik's been out for a minute. Lehechka lost in the same round that Taylor did.
Lehechka's the one guy who's played the most recent.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, he lost to Carlos, I think, the same day that Novak beat Taylor. So they're close to. I'm
not, and I know Davis Cup will always trump the schedule because that's Davis Cup. We get that. It can't be played in one calendar month. due to the tournament, they get in when they fit in. I get that.
At least these guys are already here too. Like they just lost in New York. They're not going back to Czechia to come down.
Don't get me started on Davis Cup. Should have already done what Olympics did and gone every 2 years like World Cup and Olympics. That's a whole nother talk show. But that's another whole nother talk show as far as Davis Cup not wanting to acquiesce and become a 4-year / coupling with the Olympic situation. But I get your point. And those 4, you're right. And if all I'm saying is they need to look at it. I'm not saying what the solution is. What I'm saying is that you would hate to see the tour continue to be hobbled by the number of matches, and then some of the top players get hurt, dinged up, and aren't able to commit to what's happened because they played all your other tour events. Those draws full, kept that marketing up where it should have been, and you end up losing when every player should be ready, which is the slams. There was a whole section of the draw, and this is no slight to Alex de Minaur, but Alex de Minaur did not face, as a lower, it wasn't a top 4 seed, he did not, which is not his fault that Zverev lost, he did not play a higher level seed until, did not play one.
He did not play a higher seed. He got beat by Felix.
Did not play a higher seed, and I was so happy for Felix to break through. The draw was right for the taking. My problem with that is we're going to let, as we should, a well-deserved 38-year-old only play a limited schedule because he's deserved it. Why not let some of the others play a lesser schedule if they want to roll the dice and play that level schedule? That's all I'm saying.
He's only playing he's only playing a shorter schedule because he can afford to. He doesn't need to. All the whatever. I mean, he does get. I think you do get fined or docked or whatever for not playing the requisite amount of Masters. He ain't playing them. He don't care. Like whatever.
Right. Pay the fine. Right.
I wasn't gonna see that money anyways. It's fine. So like that's the privilege he's earned through 20 years of playing at the highest level
and keeping the game on his back.
Yeah, you can keep the change, you filthy tour. But the rest of them, like this is that's the downside about being a professional athlete, right? Your earning window is relatively small. So get rich or die trying. That's what they do. It's let's look at the bright side. We as fans, we turn on the TV, we buy the tickets, we go, we get entertained, we get amazed. And
are you not entertained? Yeah,
I was entertained today. I was
tennis today.
It was I'm entertained by the matches. I'm entertained by where we are in the sport. I'm really entertained by being able to talk to you about it and others.
I just don't want the tail wagging the dog. I guess that's my only point. Sure. I don't want the tail wagging the dog. I want the tour to take advantage of the phenomenal opportunity they have right now and to catch lightning in a bottle and make sure that everybody comes out. There's so many good matches, Alvin. It was such a good tournament. U.S. Open, people that put it on have got to be excited about not just the turnout, the gamble on the mixed doubles, having all the players come through the way they did.
No rain.
Americans.
No rain. A little bit of rain. A little bit of rain.
Right, the one day it rained, they had the roof on. But I mean, so many good things happened this week. The top 1 and 2 was able to plow through the draw and still had great matches on the other courts. It was just, to me, it was just a great tournament, and very, very happy that it turned out that way. And we got to see not just two great weeks of tennis. We saw another great final and another iteration of what could be one of the best rivalries of all time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a good place to put a pin in it. I don't want to waste words tonight. It's been a good tournament. It was a good weekend of tennis. We are blessed. To all you new listeners, welcome. This is the best of 3. This is the best 3. Make sure
hit us up on the chat.
Also here I see like 70% of you watching. I'm talking to the camera now. 70% of you watching are not subscribed. Don't do that. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy or that gal. Hit that subscribe button. Follow. Tell your friends. All that stuff. And with that, boom. Best of 3. I'm Alvin. That's Torrey. We're out.